Welcome to Front of Book Texas. I'm Christy Ramirez. Conversations with the creators and icons driving lifestyle and culture today. From Texas to the world, timeless, untamed. Texas creativity, global influence. Over 15 years ago, I discovered illustrator Rob Wilson and fell in love with his playful work. I ended up writing about him for the Dallas Morning News. Fast forward to now, and this talent from Ralls, Texas, lives in New York City and creates work for brands like the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, Todd Snyder, and Valentino. Here's my fun conversation with the lovely Rob Wilson, where we talk about growing up in West Texas, the challenge of finding Tex-Mex in New York City, and why Big Red will be his forever drink. 12 or 13 years later, and now you're in New York City, and you have these incredible clients. I mean, New York Times, Washington Post, Design Within Reach, like Todd Snyder, Cafe Luxembourg, David Webb, Texas Monthly, Valentino, like the list goes on. It's kind of insane. And so you're having this moment right now as an illustrator. We all know how hard it is to make a living as an artist.
As a creative, right?
As a creative,
exactly.
It's so hard. And you hail from this tiny, tiny little town in West Texas, Ralls, Texas. So let's just start at the beginning. You grew up just outside of Lubbock in Ralls.
That's true.
Which is just east of Lubbock, right?
Right.
Population 1,600. What on
earth?
A
good day.
What was it like growing up there?
No, I loved it. It was like, I was an only child. I drew a lot. I read a lot. I played on the farm. We had animals. We had cattle. We had horses, dogs, and cats, and rabbits, and grew up around a lot of animals out on the farm. But lived in town and was really active in Boy Scouts and had a really great childhood. Growing up there, I didn't realize. It was a small town, but I didn't realize how small it was because my family was very active in the community, and we traveled, and I had a great time growing up there. But being that kind of small town, I feel like I do give that some credit because there's not a lot to do, and you have to use your imagination, and so. Drawing was something that I just kind of always leaned to, and I can kind of see a through line based on where I'm from.
Well, also, I mean, when you talk about growing up around animals, you have so many little animals and critters in your illustrations now. Now this kind of, connects the dots for me. But when did drawing first show up for you? I mean, was it, when you were in grade school? Were you always just kind of doodling and drawing? And also, did your parents think oh my God, how's he, what is he doing? He's going to be
why isn't he playing football? I asked my parents about that because I still have photos of and still some of the artwork, that my grandmother would put on her refrigerator. And from what I understand, I could draw before I could write. And so I just it's just something I've always been able to do.
Is there anything with, from growing up in Ralls and having those formative years in Texas, how does that inform your work today? Or does it?
It does. It's actually, it does quite a lot. I mean, I've had a couple of projects, even just over the past year. I was working with Perini Ranch.
Oh, I love Perini Ranch. Oh my gosh.
In Buffalo Gap. I love Perini Ranch too.
So good.
I was working with Suzanne Droth, as you know.
We love Suzanne, yes.
I love Suzanne. And she had introduced me to the Perini several years ago here in New York. They already had branding, but this is kind of how I work a lot with a lot of clients. It's there may be branding that's already done, but there's something that some clients feel like they're missing or they want to tap into, which is kind of a more expressive or human quality that maybe a logo doesn't give you. Now, for the Galleria in Dallas, there's an installation that I've worked on. The Dallas Galleria brings in so many international people. People are staying there. That's kind of the only, sometimes they don't get leave. That's the only Texas that they see.
Right.
And so I was asked to bring some Texas into the skating rink area. And so I have a lot of new work that's being installed there like, I think right now.
Well, I'm sure that's going to be, that moment there is very much like the moment, in Victory Park. So I don't know how many years ago, this is probably 4 or 5 years ago when I reached out to you, and Victory Park was a client of mine, and we reached out to you because I was like, Rob can do this. Like, we need to have a kind of, a mural that speaks to this moment in Dallas, for the people that are coming in for games, whether it's the Dallas Stars or the Dallas Mavs or concerts or whatever. And that has become such an iconic moment down in Victory Park. I mean, that mural is still there. People still take pictures of it. It's a moment for a lot of people. And so I think, yes, we could have, hired whoever, but just the fact that like you had worked here, you had lived here, you have an informed way of doing things, I think, when you're from the place that you're working around or that you're working with.
I think that's true. And I think I absolutely agree with you. And I love that mural. I do. I rarely say that about a lot of my work, but no, it makes me so happy because I see people in front of it. You and I had a lot of fun working on it. And it's in an area of town that I spent most of my career in Uptown.
Yeah.
And so I've seen that area change so much in my life. And no, it was really made me so proud to be a part of that. And the thing is, I would say about it, just as much as any of the project, whether it's for Perini Ranch or Todd Snyder or whatnot, it's like, these are not projects that I'm kind of like, you didn't approach me and say, Rob, just go dream something up. It's like, these are assignments. These are like, there's a problem. That was a big empty blank wall.
Yep.
That was in Victory Park. And it's kind of like, we needed to incorporate some community in that image because it was bringing together so many teams, the city. It needed to kind of work on a certain level. And that's what I kind of feel like all of these projects that I do the illustrations for, they come with some thought and design behind them so that they work for what they communicate as a finished product.
Yeah, I think that's a
piece of art.
And I'm so right there with you about like, it's really about like building that community. It's like when you see that, it doesn't matter who you are or how you voted or what, it doesn't matter. When you see that mural, it makes you happy. And it says, this is Dallas and we're in Victory Park and we're going to a concert, we're going to a game. It's got Reunion Tower on there. It has references to the teams. It has, I think Fountain Place might be in it too, but like it has that iconic Dallas skyline that everybody knows, and everybody takes their photo in front of it still to this day.
I've done that. Yeah. I've taken my photo in front of it as well. So yeah, it's part of what I do with my illustration at work is to kind of like look at these assignments as a problem to solve.
Yeah.
And it's like what in my toolbox of things that I do, what can I do to solve this problem in a way that's genuine and authentic. I'm not a native New Yorker, but I feel like I've been here enough that a lot of my artwork also reflects New York and my life here, and not as an insider, but as something of an outsider. And
it's like you're like observing. I think it's interesting to see it's like an observation of somebody that lives there now, but also has this point of view from Texas. Like I think of like the Todd Snyder stuff and like those windows and how charming really all of your illustrations are so charming, but there is like a welcoming sweetness to like everything that you do. Whenever I see some of your stories on Instagram, like from your travel and stuff, you do there's a lot of cafe sitting and doodling and drawing. And I'm wondering like, does it still bring you as much joy today, like just sitting in a cafe in Italy across from another friend and less doodling like daily scenes of life? Does it bring you as much happiness as it did when you were a kid?
I mean, I feel like it's one of the only things that ever brings me happiness. So yes, I mean, it's like one of the few things that really does. And it's one of those, it's like whether I was as a child or now, it's like, it still makes me extremely happy to be able to do it. I'm very, very fortunate to be able to do what I'm doing for a living.
What's the first thing that you do when you land in Lubbock? Like when you go, like right before you go to Ralls, like, is there anything that you do in Lubbock, or is there a first thing that you go and eat whenever you get to Ralls?
Oh, absolutely. That is kind of like the only thing I'm thinking about.
Okay. What is it?
We'll either go have barbecue, Tex-Mex, or I know I live in New York and there's a lot of Italian, but there is Orlando's in Lubbock is one of my favorite places to go.
Okay.
So it'll either be Orlando's barbecue or Tex-Mex. New York, great food. I know that. But the comfort food that I really miss, Taco Deli, for example.
Oh God, so good.
I mean, I'm not exactly a bagel person, and why breakfast tacos aren't bigger in New York, I don't understand. It's a handheld thing you can eat.
So
it's not
easy.
a big piece of bread. I haven't ever had a good breakfast taco in New York, and I've had so many people tell me about ones to try. I've tried them.
No.
And no, when I'm in Dallas, I will generally go to, I don't know, wherever, because they're everywhere, and have as many of them as I can.
Yeah.
Because I do love them.
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of stuff is what I really miss, and you really can't get here. But these kinds of foods, I really do miss up here.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, when the plane touches down, I am generally already salivating.
Yeah.
And ready to go.
I know you kind of can't recreate that stuff outside of Texas, I don't think.
I encounter people who don't really have a good grasp of what Texas is and what it's like, and the diversity as far as like the mountains to the ocean, to the Gulf, to the desert. It's like there's no sense of that. And, I think that applies to the food as well.
Yeah. And, and I think like Texas is really having like this interesting moment. I mean, like, I think it's been having an interesting moment for a while, but, with all the Taylor Sheridan stuff and Landman and Yellowstone, and, it's like you can walk down to Knox and, they're taping Landman, and, there's always something happening like in Fort Worth and in North Texas now. And it's hitting a nerve, not just with the people that are from here and frequent those places, and they have those places in their daily lives. But outside of that, like now people are like, everything from just like what's coming down the runway, like, people are super into like cowboy boots and cowboy hats. And this is just kind of like how, if you're from here, that's like a very normal thing, is to have cowboy boots and cowboy hats and all of that. But why do you think, like,
if you're going to ask me if I have a cowboy hat or boots, the answer is going to be unfortunately no. But, I'm tall enough as it is.
You don't need to like extend your height anymore.
I don't need to accentuate that.
But why do you think, I mean, like, aside from like the Taylor Sheridan stuff, which I do think has kind of like elevated it, the exposure to Texas, like even more, especially Fort Worth right now. Why do you think, this is something that I've always kind of like explored, like in my writing as like a magazine editor and writer, what the fascination is with like this mythic idea of like Texas and like bigger than life Texas style, like the crazy, like when you think of, Texas women, you think of Lynn Wyatt, or you think of Sue Ellen, on Ewing. And they have these ideas. And then I do think that when people come here, they realize that it's much more sophisticated than they kind of had anticipated.
Yeah, I think people project a lot.
Yeah.
It's like I said, it's kind of, I think Texas is kind of mysterious. They have ideas from those TV shows, the shows from the 80s, especially. And I think that by not understanding what Texas is like and all the different areas, and like, there's pine trees, there's, the piney woods, there's all kinds of parts of Texas that people don't realize. Because most people, I feel like, especially in New York, know of two places in Texas that exist, and that is called Austin and Marfa.
Yeah.
Texas is so much more diverse, and there's so much more happening. That I think that's what these stereotypes, when they pop up, I feel like that's what people just reach into their, memory of like the TV shows and movies and think, oh, it's like that everywhere. And, many times I'm asked, it's like, oh, you can just like go to Marfa for the day, or it's not that far, right? And it's like, no, that may be like, even from my hometown, it's like 8 hours or so to drive. It's a lot. And it's both considered West Texas, Yeah. It's closer to go to Santa Fe, New Mexico than it is to Marfa.
Yeah, I don't think people understand. I think especially when you're in the East Coast, on the East Coast, and you can drive or take a train and you'll be in a different state. It very much like being in Europe, where you can just kind of pop over to, like, you could be in Paris and pop over to Switzerland for the day. Like, it's not that big of a deal. But here, it's a big place, and it is so vastly different. I mean, West Texas is so different from East and North, from, Paris, Texas to Harlingen. I mean, like, they couldn't be, like, more different, like, landscape-wise and culture-wise.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. It's part of the exploration of even, like, front of book Texas is kind of like, people are a little, Texas is just like having this really amazing moment right now. And like, I've always known that it's so amazing. And I love living here and I love being from here. And, my dad was a Dallas cop and my mom was a secretary. Like, I really take a lot of pride in, like, being from here. Yeah. And I think that sometimes people are like, Texas. And I'm like, you don't get it. Like, you have to come down and, like, see. It's so different than I think what people's perceptions of it are.
Texas is always a good grounding place. But as you were saying, it's like, even in not far from where I grew up, is the 4-6 Ranch. Mm-hmm. And I think, even that has been, kind of, there's some, idea of Hollywood about it as well, because of Taylor Sheridan and bringing some of that to West Texas.
Yeah, it's interesting to be here right now. That's for sure. Do you have, like, a favorite pen or type of paper or journal that you like to use whenever you travel or whenever you're sketching?
I generally use these pens by Tombow. They're like brush pens.
Okay.
And there's different kinds. And I have them with me all the time. I carry them with me everywhere, and they're in every pocket and every tote bag that I have. As far as paper, I generally take Muji pads. Okay. These are just like really simple note journals, unlined journals from Muji. Okay. I love them, and they'll fit in your pocket, and the paper is great. And I do a lot of idea work sketching in those.
Okay, good. Okay.
More than anything.
Okay, I like that. Okay, good to know. So for any other future people that,
Cheap and cheerful has been my friend. So yeah.
I like that. What big projects do you have on the horizon, like for 2026, 2027? Is there like a dream client that you want to get? Is there a big project that you're excited about that you can talk about?
I had a couple of book projects I'm working on.
Okay.
And I'm excited about both of them that include a lot of illustration. Those have been ongoing for a little bit. So those are happening this year. Okay. I've done a lot of collaborations with companies as well. And I just want to continue doing those kind of collaborations. Like I said, kind of like the Pelini Ranch, or what I did Design Within Reach years ago, or with Todd, where it's kind of like, you may have a brand, but there may be something else that you need that kind of like that people relate to. And, I did that. I've done that many times with these brands where I do animation, printed collateral that kind of like promotes the brand as well. Ones that really align kind of with what I do. And I don't know. I thought about, it's like I would like to do way more animation. I've worked with a really terrific kids science writer. And I was in Dallas a couple years ago talking at Interrobang Books. We went on a book tour. We'll have a new book coming out later this year about it's a science book, but all the books involve animals and pets and how plants and how the world works, and it really encourages kids to be curious and be out in the world and have a better understanding of the ecosystem. And I really want to turn that into an animated series somehow. That is a project that is on my list of things to do. And I don't know, at some point, I've had a long career. I mean, some kind of show of some sort I would like, or some kind of personal book that kind of like highlights some of the work that I've done.
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing. I do feel, is it time for a Rob Wilson retrospective?
I don't know. I don't feel old enough for that, but I do have a lot of work. I've done a lot of work. So maybe, I don't know, at some point. Yeah. But no, I kind of, last year, over the past couple of years, I've also worked with some like I said, I worked with Todd Snyder on some T-shirt collection. I've worked with another designer in Italy, a knitwear designer named Luca Lorenza. And for spring summer 26, we have these knit shirts that I've done illustrations on. Yeah, I'm thrilled about being able to like work with fashion designers and create some of how to interpret some of my work, you know, into theirs.
Yeah.
So more of that.
Okay, I love that. Well, that sounds like a lot of different projects that are coming down the pipeline. So you have to keep us posted.
I want to do it all.
Yeah,
why not? You know?
Absolutely. Why not? I mean, you are doing it all at this point. Do you have any favorite Texas artists right now? Is there anybody that we should know about that's kind of like under the radar?
It's been really fun seeing this person who I've known since the very beginning of my career, who was one of the first, I think he's the first person I ever interviewed with for a job at where I ultimately got my job in Dallas. Is John Fleming.
Yes.
John Fleming is a designer. I've known him for a very long time, and I've seen his career over the past few years. He's really leaned into the Western world and his fine art. And no, I just admire. I've always admired him, and he's so talented. And it's just been so great to see his career kind of take off, even more than it did. But he was such a mentor to me for early in my career. But it's like I would say what I usually do when I go to Dallas, I will generally stop by Barry Whistler Gallery, or I'll stop by Aaron Cluley Gallery, and you know, see who they're representing and see their artists. Allison Smith, of course, is a photographer who's also a good friend, who adore her work. And the other person I think of too is Dirk Fowler. Dirk Fowler is a designer. He is also an instructor at Texas Tech in the design department. And he has he makes the most incredible posters, silkscreen posters, printed posters. He does some, I think, editorial illustration. I know he's worked with Caleb Bennett, who's also a Texas Tech alum for different magazines Caleb has been part of. And Dirk is just like a really fantastic designer. I know you've seen his posters in Dallas and all over Texas and internationally known. And yeah, these are people I think that are all really amazing. And it's like I really admire.
I love that.
I admire them.
Okay, that's so crazy about John. I didn't know that he was one of your mentors. That makes so much sense. When I was in Marathon a couple of weeks ago, or I guess it was like, it was late last year. He has a mural outside of a grocery store, which is just so fun to see. It's kind of like you're really out in the middle of nowhere, and then you see this incredible piece of art, which is just
he's great.
It's just so
it's great to see. I think he's done packaging. I see his fine art, and he's always been someone who really helped me when I was starting out as well.
Okay, Rob, are you ready for some front of book rapid fire? You're gonna have to think on your feet.
Yeah, let's do this.
You're gonna have to think on your feet.
Let's do this.
Gut reaction. Okay, let's go. Rapid fire, this or that. Barbecue or Tex-Mex?
Tex-Mex.
Galveston or the Hill Country?
Hill Country.
September State Fair or spring rodeo season?
State Fair. Because of big Tex.
East Texas piney woods or West Texas desert?
Tough, but I was going to say West Texas desert.
Tito's or Lalo?
Tito's.
Fort Worth or Dallas?
I mean, come on. It's Dallas, of course. I mean, I lived in Dallas forever. I love Dallas.
Okay, noted. Yeah. Yes, there's a reason behind it.
It's not going to be Houston either. So sorry, Houston. Yeah.
Okay, Miranda or Casey? Miranda Lambert or Casey Musgraves?
Oh, Casey Musgraves, definitely.
So good. Luke or
I love her.
Luke or Owen?
I would Owen.
Okay, Owen. I love that. Rio Grande or the Guadalupe?
Guadalupe.
I-45 or I-20? So headed east or headed west? I think for you it's headed west.
I think it's going to be headed west too.
Dazed and Confused or Bottle Rocket?
Oh, Bottle Rocket. Definitely.
And this is one that I hadn't shared with you, but I put on here this morning. Big Red or Dr. Pepper? This
is what I will say. This is.
I love it. You're not going to choose.
Right,
you're not going to choose. I love it.
I am going to choose. I'm going to put. I'm not putting a stake in the ground, but I am going to choose. I'm going to say Big Red right now. I mean, I love Dr. Pepper, but the past few times I've been to Texas, I was like, I didn't realize Big Red was still being sold.
Yeah.
And I went to the convenience store. I got a Big Red, and I thought it was the most delicious thing I had tasted
So good.
in my life. And a fun fact, as a kid, we made Big Red ice cream, strawberry ice cream.
Oh my God. I've never had that before.
Let me just tell you, it's worth looking into.
Big Red is definitely, yeah. I grew up drinking Big Red. It was the only, and we called them soda waters. And like anytime somebody wanted a soda water, it was Big Red hands down, like for everything. Like we would have, like in the summer, we would have like a ring of red, like around our lips from like drinking Big Red. It was like our water. So I'm
still not sure. People have asked me what the taste is, and I don't even know sure, what it is. But my answer is that it tastes like red. And so being someone who loves colors and works with colors, and the fact that it's like, this is what red should taste like. That is a mean-spirited question, but I will stand by my answer.
See, I popped it in there last minute. Okay, before I let you go, I have something to show you.
I still don't understand that drawing. Still don't understand it, but I'm glad that you have it.
So you did this. So Brooke Hortenstein and I, who is a really good friend of ours, and Brooke was forever. She was the editor-in-chief along with Rob Brinkley over at Paper City. And so Brooke and I, she's one of my closest, dearest friends, and we had come up with this. It was after several drinks, several ridiculous trips that we've had together, where we came up with this idea of the adventures of Peg Leg and Possum.
I don't understand anything about this. I don't know if I need to know any more about this.
But you got the assignment. I will say you might.
But again, it's the assignment. I understood. And it's like, how can I communicate this?
That's Brooke. She's the possum. And that's me, Peg Leg. And I'm holding her. And the sunglasses kind of took it over the edge.
You both have your sunglasses on. You both look chic. And I feel like, my job was done.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Rob Wilson, thank you so much for being on Front of Book Texas. It's been so nice to talk to you, and I just appreciate you so much, and it's just so fun to watch your career take off, and I can't wait to see what's next.
Thank you. I appreciate it, and thank you for all your support. And it's like so fun that we're getting to do this like years later. Maybe we need to we'll have another interview in like, I don't know. However many more years.
Whenever you want, you can be special guest, special commentator for Front of Book Texas. We'd love to have you on anytime. This has been Front of Book Texas. We've got a new conversation every 2 weeks, so don't just listen, subscribe, follow, and share. I want to thank my executive producer, Georgiana Moreland. Front of Book Texas. Texas creativity, global reach.